It's looking like a summer of pain for cryptos in general. Bitcoin is holding up in the last 2 months. It's up 10%, but it's still down 48% this year. Don't kid yourself. But that's nothing compared to the competition. Take a look. Ether is down about 40% this summer, 61% for the year. But it's swung from $1,400 in January to $277 today. This is just amazing volatility. Really the same, though, with Litecoin, down almost 30% this summer, 73% for the year. Ripple also down about 30% in the last 2 months, 83% year to date. Ouch. And now, while this summer has been bad for Bitcoin's competitors, overall, everything has dropped about 60% this year, and that's the way to look at it. The total value of all cryptocurrencies currently $218 billion, down from $572 billion at the end of December. That's a drop of about 60%. It peaked, by the way, $820 billion. That was right after the start of the year on January 7th. Bitcoin right now, $116 billion market cap. That's about half the $220 billion market cap it hit at the end of 2017. So what happened? Could I name the ways? The SEC denying a Bitcoin ETF. A sell-off in emerging market currencies was a problem. Continuing revelations about break-ins and thefts at some exchanges. A continuing crackdown on crypto trading overseas. It all adds up to a season of hell for the crypto bulls. It's not clear that retail investors have permanently lost their risk appetite, but the experience this summer will certainly make many of them more cautious about long-term buy and hold if and when we get a fall rally. 2018 shaping up to be the dot-com summer for crypto investors. Can't wait to see the special, Melissa, and all those weird people you interviewed. Good heavens.
We've got some mainstream people too, but I don't want everybody to think that, people in crypto are all like Tiger Paws and people like BK. There's some mainstream people too.
Okay.
All right, Bob, thanks. Bob Pisani at the NYSE. Well, Bitcoin may have outperformed altcoins, but our next guest doesn't think it's the cream of the crypto world because tonight's documentary is such a momentous event that explores the highs and lows of Bitcoin. We thought we'd kick off our own Bitcoin special with none other than Bitcoin Jesus himself, Roger Ver. He joins us now on the phone from South Korea. Roger, good morning to you.
Good morning or good afternoon to you in New York.
Good afternoon to you. Let's kick it off right with Bitcoin Cash because that's where you're putting your all your eggs in terms of the crypto basket. It's down about 35% this month. Does the price tell us the story of Bitcoin Cash in terms of the adoption and the use of Bitcoin Cash for transactions, do you think?
So a moment ago, I heard the announcer talk about the reasons why he thought the market was down, but I think he left out the most important reason, and that's that BTC, Bitcoin, is no longer, or at least last December, wasn't usable for commerce at all. The fees became high, the transactions became slow and unreliable, and people like myself and everybody else that was trying to actually use it for commerce stopped and switched to something else, and that something else looks most likely to be Bitcoin Cash for the most number of people. And yeah, it's down a lot this year, but I remember when I bought my first Bitcoins at about $1, and they went all the way up to $30 that summer in 2011, and then dropped all the way back down to $2. So more than a 90% drop over the next year there. But in investing or in hockey, you don't skate to where the puck is currently. You skate to where it's going to be in the future. And it's very, very clear that all the adoption and the merchants and all sorts of businesses are being built on top of Bitcoin Cash at this point. So for the future, I think Bitcoin Cash is the best investment standpoint. But I don't recommend anybody, don't put all of your investments into cryptocurrency and don't put all of your cryptocurrency investment into one single cryptocurrency. Diversify, diversify, diversify is the name of the game when it comes to investing.
So what does your crypto portfolio look like right now, Roger?
I hold more Bitcoin Cash than anything else, but I have some Ether, I have some Zcash, some Zcoin, some Monero, some Dash, and I still hold some BTC as well. So a little bit of everything is a good idea. And of course, some Ripple and Stellar, and take your pick. Diversify, diversify, diversify is the name of the game.
Are you more diversified in your portfolio than you were, say, a year ago?
So it was maybe 2, maybe even 3 years ago now, I saw the writing on the wall in regards to the BTC people not wanting Bitcoin to be able to scale to be used for money. And they had this just absolutely insane idea in their mind that high fees and slow transactions and network congestion was a good thing. And they literally talked about popping the champagne when fees hit $50 per transaction on the BTC network. And I saw that coming down the line, and that's what inspired. At that point, I owned like 99% of my cryptocurrency holdings were in Bitcoin BTC. And it was when I saw this just crazy economic talk from these people talking about how high fees are a good thing that that inspired me to diversify into a bunch of other cryptocurrencies. And at the time I did that, Bitcoin's market share was like 99% of all the cryptocurrencies, and today it's somewhere south of 50%. And I think it's going to continue to go lower because they're openly cheering for high fees and slow transactions on the Bitcoin BTC network, which is just insane to anybody that realizes that cryptocurrencies are supposed to be usable as a currency, and currencies don't have high fees and slow transactions just to use them.
Hey, Roger, it's BK. So I'm curious on Bitcoin Cash. There's been some some problems with the community. Are we going to have multiple Bitcoin Cashes? Is the community irreparably damaged?
I think that's very, very unlikely. There's always arguing within every Bitcoin or every cryptocurrency community, but a bunch of the Bitcoin Cash miners are flying out to Bangkok in about 24 hours here, and we're all going to sit down in person and talk about exactly what we think as miners should be the future for this, and I think things will probably be settled by that. So that's happening here in less than 48 hours.
So a big Bitcoin Cash kumbaya happening in Bangkok.
Yeah, so Jihan Wu, Bitmain will be there. I'll be there. Calvin Ayre, Canadian billionaire, gambling mogul will be there. A whole bunch of interesting people will be there, and I think I hope it will end with a bunch of kumbaya singing, but it very well may not. But I don't think it's going to result in a split, additional split with Bitcoin Cash. I think that's the least likely outcome.
All right, Roger, thanks so much for putting into fast, and thank you for participating in the documentary. Hope you'll tune in. As you see at the corner of your screen, we're about 11 minutes away from the premiere of Bitcoin Boom or Bust tonight on CNBC, so we'll want to watch that. This rift in the Bitcoin Cash community, does this make you think twice about investing in Bitcoin Cash?
Well, it certainly made Bitcoin Cash, at least I think, underperform,
like
right?
East Coast, West Coast rappers.
It is, and it's, but to be fair, it's not unusual, right? What we're talking about is a group of people trying to come to consensus and figure out what the best path forward is. So just like in Washington, D.C., we have disagreements, and ultimately you come together. But the difference here is you can split off, and you can have a fork. So, it is a concern, but if they can resolve it at this meeting, then that actually would be positive.
This is some meeting, though, isn't it? I mean, this is a real summit of who's who in this Bitcoin Cash world.
It is, and Jihan Wu.
Would we see the price move if something is agreed upon?
I think you could. I mean, Jihan Wu, who's the head of Bitmain, he's going to do an IPO. Their financials have come out. They own a lot of Bitcoin Cash. Certainly, they have an economic incentive to get this resolved. So we'll see.
What would be the resolution?
It would be an agreement on what the software is going to look like going forward. So there's a lot of, I don't want to get too technical in it, but there's disagreements over what the software should look like, what the rules should be. If they can come to some kind of agreement and say, we are going to have one Bitcoin Cash, that would be helpful.